want people to understand, like, I never ever thought I would be able to get away from the drugs and things, because it's always been part of my life since I was 10 years old. I've been on one sort of drug or another, and it's like I never thought I'd be out of that world. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, well, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Believe me, anybody.
How did it start, if you don't mind me asking? What happened when you were 10?
Well, stupidly, at school, you could take a name out of a cup and you would get sent for a cup of tea, playtime, and somebody else from a different classroom would do the same. So I ended up sitting outside the headmaster's office in a good way, having a cup of tea with this boy, and he told me how to use deodorant and a cloth and basically sniff it to get high. And being 10, I went straight home and tried it. And basically, I liked it because it took me out of reality for that few seconds. So instead of it just being a silly little thing that a kid done and it never happened again, it was like, oh, every time I see deodorant, I would just take it and I would sniff it with a bit of cloth. And that went on for years and years. And to the point I was really bad on it, really. Like I was sniffing like 10 bottles of deodorant a day, up to 12 sometimes. Anything I could find, I would try and sniff to just try and get at that reality. And I knew what I was trying to get away from the effects of like what my granddad used to touch me up and things like that. And it was basically trying to get away from that for a few seconds. And then when I was about 13, I started smoking weed, you know, just sort of kids all being around and people passing it. I was already smoking. I'd started smoking at 10. I was smoking even before the deodorant thing. And then going about in them sort of circles, smoking weed and things. About 14, I started taking speed. And that was a sort of another reality for longer. So it was, instead of it just being the sort of normal child's experiences, you sort of go and experiment and things, I took it to the next level of taking it to the point where I wasn't thinking straight. You could tell I was on something. My mum knew when I was about 14 because I was in the kitchen. My eyes were wide open about 4 o'clock in the morning. And she asked me, she said, "Are you on drugs?" And I was like, well, I can't deny it. My eyeballs were sticking out my head, and my body was all doing weird popping because of the amount of drugs